Hello, I'm Rebecca Skeel. I'm a Sacred Ambition mentor and a wisdom teacher, and I want to say hello out there. I've jumped on Facebook Live to tell another story, and this is story time. So I hope you will settle in for about 3 minutes or so while I tell you our next story in a series of stories that I'm sharing about people who have come in the past to the Sacred Ambition event. Most of them are coming again. And what they've done with the information, the inspiration, the space, the time, and really getting in touch with their sacred calling in the world and how to bring it out with their ambition lined up with that sacredness. So today's story is BB's story, and the name of it is All of Creation into Communion with Radical Loving. Well, how did BB find out about this event? Actually, a friend was the one that told her that she had, because she had attended the year before, and told her that she had had a life-altering experience. So BB was very curious and said, well, tell me about this. And so the friend said, well, I went to this event called Your Sacred Ambition. That was enough for BB, and she signed up. So that's when I first met BB. She was new to me, and she came to the event for the first time last August. She also came to the February, a day of Radical Loving, and is coming back this year. She says, the Sacred Ambition intrigued me because you were putting together the words sacred with ambition and life purpose. And I was looking for an opportunity to connect with like-minded people. That's very important to me at this time in my life. You know, this is one of the big drawing cards of Sacred Ambition event because we call ourselves a tribe. We call ourselves a tribe of leaders, world servers, and visionaries. And there is a tribal feeling of people when they come together that are heart-focused and spirit-focused and really want to bring forward that heartfelt call in the world. It's really important to come together for support. It's important to come together to be witnessed and celebrated. It's also important to have the space and the time to listen deeply, which is what BB did. So when she was at the Sacred Ambition event, she got her sacred calling. She knew it had something to do with really supporting others, to do the inner work, to find their soul-aligned purpose. But what happened when she came to the Radical Loving event in February was it was upgraded. That's when this call came forward to bring all of creation into communion. She said, whoa, that's kind of big. And you know, that's another thing about sacred callings, is they are bigger than you. And that's what's important at this time, is that we have big callings inside of ourselves and have find the support and the guidance to be able to bring them out, because that's actually one of what sacred calling is all about, which is why the event, because to come together under and with that sacred calling, you finally see, oh, okay, I can do this because I'm going to have a support from the community. So what has she done since then? Well, she's really involved herself in community with groups of people that were at the Sacred Ambition event, and she's now working in the area of emergence. That's what really speaks to her. Again, it's that inner. She has the ability and the gift to be able to hold for people as they are in the emergent. Hello, Arturo. The emergent space of listening and letting the patience and the guidance of what's coming forward to really lead the way. She says, I'm working with a friend and we are looking at the process of emergence, especially around the wise woman. She's also creating a class to support people to strengthen their inner connection to the intuitive process. Really important part of this. That inner guidance that is so important if you're following a sacred call. bringing all creation in communion, BB feels a little bit like, whoa, what is that? What does that really mean in my life? I mean, how am I really going to do that? And so following that trusted source, what she calls the trusted source inside of her, is really important. And she kept saying over and over and over in her story, the inner is the priority. This is one of the things I love about BB's story, because the inner is a priority. A lot of times when we have a sacred call and a sacred ambition, we feel like we need to rush out there and create something in the world, like the regular way we work in the world. But quite honestly, we can't do that with the sacred calling. It has to emerge. We have to follow it. We have to listen deeply and really to that whispering, so that we can bring it into the form that it wants to be brought forward in the world. So what about the radical loving? What does BB say about radical loving? Well, she says, radical loving to me is a space in my heart of at-one-ment, and being able to see that at-one-ment in all that exists. I think that's pretty beautiful myself, to be able to put it that way. She goes on to say, coexisting and respect with all is a description of compassion, which is one of the tenets of radical loving. And then she says, yes, we need to create anew rather than pushing against. Yes, this is bold and fierce to speak truth, even in situations where there are differences of opinions and thought. When you are pushing against something, you are limiting yourself, because all you can see is how to fix that. Instead, looking at what you want to create can open the doors of many possibilities. So, how is BB going to stay the course? This is another really important aspect for her. Community, staying the course, the inner process of emergence. She says, I think the most important thing I can do to stay the course is to surround myself with people that are doing wild and wacky things through the Sacred Ambition events and other groups. Well, I personally am very happy that BB is part of our tribe and doing her wild and wacky things. As far as I'm concerned, we need more wild and wacky things out there, don't we? Hey, Jane. And so the commitment for her, the commitment to bring all creation into communion. Again, she feels at times a bit overwhelmed by that, but she says, I just have to take it one step at a time. And what is strong within me is to get to the place of harmony and communion with my trusted source and all parts of me. It's a huge thing for me, and it is where I am wanting to move into my life. It is a huge thing. It's a huge thing for all of us. And one of the things that we talk about at the event is that when we know we are carrying inside of ourselves this calling, this big calling, we have to get bigger. And how we do that is what the event is all about. So I want to thank BB again for coming forward with her story. Thank you for being with me here on Facebook Live. And stay tuned. Very soon I'll be doing our next story. So bye for now.